Good morning, traders. This is Shane Scott, the moderator of Newsware's Trade Talk. At Trade Talk, we're providing you with the most up-to-the-minute news on the market, along with the facts, themes, and short-term trading ideas for the day ahead. Joining me today is our trading anchor, Bill Olson, who brings over 30 years of institutional trading knowledge to our program. We're going to get things started with our markets update. U.S. futures are slipping this morning with S&P futures down 0.04%, Dow futures down 0.03%, and NASDAQ futures down 0.01%. Drops in the market come as risks from the Delta coronavirus strain continue to affect confidence in the global economic recovery. Treasuries have risen and the dollar is steady. Oil has risen higher. Over in Europe, the Stock 600 index cyclical stocks saw losses, with airlines struggling against the Delta variant's deterrence from tourism. And over in Asia, Japan and Hong Kong led modest losses. Bill, what are you seeing as far as market updates?
Well, Shane, I've been watching the S&Ps all morning long, and, they've just been trading lower. I watched Europe opening up. Oh, Europe was down over 1%. They have since clawed back a lot of those gains, which is positive. But the key this morning is really this ADP report that's coming out at 8:15 a.m. It's a potential catalyst because this is the report that you look towards ahead of Friday's non-farm payrolls report. This could be a market mover. We'll be watching it. One thing to note, today's the last day of the quarter. Hedge funds typically like to print up and buy that last tick on an uptick to evaluate their funds a little bit higher every quarter. And today is that June 30th date. So tomorrow is July 1. And will be a start of the new quarter. Earnings report that I was seeing, not great. I didn't see anything that was really, stellar this morning or last night. But we still got a lot of good earnings coming out this week.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into earnings. Bill, tell us how they've been doing.
STZ, that's Stars Constellation brand, Sam Tom Zebra. They delivered a 1 cent beat on higher revenue. The stock's marginally higher. The key here is that their feeling is that the wine and spirit sales are really going to be their catalyst for growth in the future. They're expecting beer sales to start moving higher. So it was a positive outlook, although the numbers weren't stellar, but they did have a nice little guidance in terms of where they believe their revenue is going to come from in the future. General Mills, that's ticker GIS, Grace India Sam, they did a 7 cent beat on higher revenue. The stock's trading higher by about 0.32%, not significant, but General Mills is expecting its at-home food demand is going to decline this year as compared to last year. Why? Because more people will start eating out, so they're expecting to see a little bit of a shortfall, but it's still higher than where they were at the pre-pandemic levels. Bed Bath & Beyond, that's ticker BB, BY, Boy Yellow. They missed by 3 cents on higher revenue. They guided slightly higher, but I look at the stock, it's down almost 1% this morning. And that's what I'm seeing in terms of earnings this morning, Shane.
How about insights as far as upcoming earning announcements?
Micron, ticker MU, Michael Under, they're releasing today after the close. EPS estimate is for $1.71. You're looking for a 5.39% move here. SJR, Sam, John, Richard, they're coming in with an EPS estimate of 34 cents. Expected move there is 5.6%. McCormick, that's ticker MKC, Michael, Kilo, Charlie. They're releasing tomorrow morning. EPS estimate there is 61 cents. And I'm looking for a 5.3% move based on the model.
Moving into our economic reports, Bill, tell us what we're seeing for reports today.
8:15, the ADP employment report. This is the hot one. This is the indicator that we're looking for that's going to set the tone for today. At 9:45, we have the Chicago PMI, the Purchasing Managers Index, coming out. At 10 a.m., Pending Home Sales Index. And at 10:30, you get the EIA oil stockpiles report. This will be a hot one. Oil's trading higher. You do have the OPEC meeting going on this week, with an announcement scheduled for tomorrow. Apparently, the joint ministers meeting was a little postponed because the Russian minister was not able to attend. But it's going to be an interesting one with these oil stockpiles report. I'm expecting another big draw when this report is released. In terms of Fed speak today, Raphael Bostic, the Atlanta Fed Bank chairman, he's going to be speaking at 8 a.m. today. And at 1 p.m. this afternoon, Richmond Fed Bank President Thomas Barkin will be given a speech.
Moving into our morning's critical insights, starting things off with one on Occupier Pharma, ticker OCUP. The company announced that its eyesight treatment met all primary and secondary endpoints in its phase 2 study, and the company now plans to move to phase 3. Ocuphire's share price is up 38.53% in pre-market. In other news, Taboola, ticker TBLA, an online advertising company, has become a publicly traded company on NASDAQ. Some IPO news. Sentinel One, ticker S, will be opening on the New York Stock Exchange today with an IPO of 35 million shares at $35 a share. Another IPO on Didi Global, ticker DIDI, a major Chinese ride-hailing company, which has priced its initial public offering as of late Tuesday at $14 a share. The company has raised more than it planned at $4.4 billion, giving Didi a market capitalization in excess of $67 billion. In other news, Navistar, ticker NAV, has received all regulatory approvals necessary to proceed with its previously announced merger with Traton. Parent company Volkswagen has stated a goal of expanding presence in China after finalizing the $3.7 billion takeover as Chinese fleets customers continually look toward higher-end vehicles. In other news, Dynavax, ticker DVAX, and Clover announced a commercial supply deal with Dynavax COVID-19 vaccine candidate for up to 414 million doses with Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. Dynavax share price is up 0.41% in pre-market. Lastly, for me, one on Fox, ticker FOX, also FOXA. The company has been fined $1 million in a settlement following the NYC Human Rights Panel probe against Fox staff for various sexual misconduct. Fox share price is down 0.35% in pre-market. Bill, what are you seeing as far as this morning's news?
Well, Shane, I break my news alerts down into specific segments. I'm looking at specific industries, and I'm looking for specific events. When the news hits the tape, I'm ready to react and ready to see if the price action has been priced in or not, or if there's a real opportunity for me. I'm looking at my thing alert every morning, and Amazon, there's a couple interesting stories there. Amazon apparently, this is a Wall Street Journal article story. Amazon is apparently pushing stock warrant deals with certain vendors. I mentioned this yesterday in the hot off the press segment, but apparently Amazon has struck over a dozen deals with companies, and the executives of these companies are feeling like they can't refuse Amazon, without risking their contract. Remember that Spartan Nash, that was ticker SPTN? They did an offering where they were selling stock to Amazon for 1 cent for 50,000 shares. Didn't make sense, but Spartan Nash shot up like $5 that day. But apparently Amazon's been pulling this over and over again to firms that they just signed contracts with. Let us buy rights to your share rights at a low price. And it's a nice little profit moneymaker for Amazon if they can get it. I see Senator Warren is calling on the FTC for meticulous review of Amazon's MGM deal. Might be a little bit of an issue for them, but I see that deal going through. Apple, let's ticker AAPL. Apple apparently is planning numerous changes to its Safari browser. And Tesla, let's ticker TSLA. Deutsche Bank is forecasting a slight drop in second quarter deliveries. This drop is really reflecting softer demand in China. Going over my Dow Jones 30 alert, I see JP Morgan, the SEC fined JP Morgan $2.75 million due to operating an unregistered broker-dealer platform. That was the NeoVest platform that they bought out in 2005. And NeoVest was operating as a broker and was operating as a broker-dealer, and yet they didn't have a license for it. And they got bought by JPM. Nobody looked at the paperwork. It's now an issue. Intel, let's ticker INTC, India, Nancy, Tom, Charlie. They announced another delay in their newest chips for servers. They're saying that they still want to make them faster. Great, but it's another delay. Doesn't look good for Intel. I'm looking over at my option headlines today, and the social media stocks were really in focus yesterday. Take a look at Snap, SNAP, Sam, Nancy, Apple, Paul. The 30-day option implied volatility is at 67. Compare that to the 52-week range of 44 to 118. Call put ratio here was very interesting. It's 4.7 calls to every one put. Look at Facebook, ticker FB. They had that big news yesterday, but the 30-day option implied volatility is at 33, whereas in the 52-week range is 21 to 55. They have a call put ratio of three calls to every one put. couple of events to kind of think about here is one is CrowdStrike. That's ticker CRWD, Charlie Richard William David. They're having a shareholders meeting today that starts at noon. Another one is Nikola. That's ticker NKLA. Their shareholders meeting also starts at noon. These two stocks could see some upward movement around 11:30, 11:45 as you head into it, because the market kind of is expecting one of these two firms to release something positive during the shareholders meeting today. In terms of guidance, SWKS, Sam William Kilo Sam. This is Skyworks, and this came out yesterday during the day, but I still think it's relevant. Citi opened up a positive catalyst watch on Skyworks yesterday at noon, based on the June quarter end. They're feeling the U.S. supplies checks indicate that Apple's next generation iPhone are tracking above expectations, which is highly beneficial for SWKS. So that was an interesting guidance story that I picked up on this morning. But that's what I'm seeing today, Shane.
Moving into our Trade Talk picks for today, I'm picking Micron, ticker MU. This is an earnings play. They're reporting after the close with an estimated EPS of $1.71. The call to put ratio has been positive, and as we're seeing still within markets, the demand in the DRAM market, or the DRAM market, it remains strong, and several analysts have raised Micron or kept Micron at an outperform rating or an overweight rating of $105. And right now it's really only at about $83 per share. So I think there's room to move. And I think this is one we can expect some positivity, at least going into the announcement after the close. What's your pick looking like, Bill?
I'm going with Lindsay. This is LNN, Larry, Nancy, Nancy. It's an earnings play. These guys are a maker of irrigation and infrastructure equipment. Now, the earnings are due out tomorrow morning. It's priced for a 7% move. Last quarter, they felt that the improved commodity prices in the agricultural sector will likely help this quarter's earnings results. Well, you look at the agricultural prices, corn, wheat, soybeans, and they've been hot. We're headed into the summer season. It's commodity prices typically rise the fastest in the beginning of the summer season. So I think they're going to have a positive earnings result when you think about the commodity prices. In last quarter's conference calls, they did cite that they expect the coronavirus related delays in road construction activities and projects, and it's affecting their sales pipeline, they said. But I'm looking for some positive price movement here because the economy is opening up. You've got 65% of the population, at least one vaccination. So yeah, this could really be a nice winner. They might have been able to start working on some of these projects and abstracting some revenue out of it. Add to that the higher commodity prices, and I think these guys might have a winning earnings report when they release tomorrow morning.
Well, let's go ahead and move into what's hot off the press. So this is the news that's hitting the tape as we speak. It'll be moving the stocks today. Let's go ahead and get into it. Bill, seeing our headlines, which are the ones we should be letting traders know about?
LDOS, Larry David Oscar Sam. They just got awarded a $2.5 billion contract by NASA. Stars, Constellation Brands, it's ticker STZ, Sam, Tom, Zebra. They're planning a $500 million incremental share repurchase, and they feel that the wine and spirits are posed to drive accelerated gains. Here's one on Salesforce.com. That's ticker CRM, Charlie Richard Mary. Yesterday that they announced an aggregated $8 billion senior notes offering. This morning, you have an analyst coming out that says that the debt offering is suggesting that the Slack deal is near to closing.
Chipotle, ticker CMG. Chipotle is launching an offer as part of a national vaccine action campaign, buy one, get one free for their products. Thayer Ventures, ticker TVAC. This is an acquisition merger. It's merging with Inspirato to make that a public company. The combined value would be $1.1 billion. And the ticker symbol they'll trade under on NASDAQ is ISPO.
See Walmart, ticker WMG. They're working with Ibota for cashback programs. They're really going to try and do this for their Walmart Plus division. There's a headline on Option implied volatility for energy stocks as high as oil nears its 2018 highs, along with an OPEC meeting.
Some stock watch news on Moderna, ticker mRNA. Share price of Moderna was up 2.3% in pre-market today after the company's stock price hit an all-time high of $234.60 when market closed yesterday. Here's one on Merck, ticker MRK. Alpine Immune Sciences is having a supply agreement with them in regards to one of the treatments that their therapies are coming out with. And Alpine's ticker ALPN.
Bank of America names 5 U.S. semi picks that are due for a catch-up. Talking AMD, Broadcom, AVGO, and others.
Anything else interesting for you, Bill?
No, that's all I'm seeing today, Shane.
Same here, so that'll do it for what's hot off the press. But traders, keep in mind, you can receive the same breaking stories that we do simply by subscribing at newsware.com. Check us out for a free trial today. It'll definitely up your trading game. Lastly, moving into our scoreboard, talking about how our picks did from Tuesday. I had Star Constellation Brands, ticker STZ. It opened at $230.60, and by late morning ran as high as $232.83 before settling down to $231.73 toward the close for a 0.49% gain. So didn't move too high, but definitely positive, and hopefully looking more positive today after having positive earning announcements. How did yours end up doing, Bill?
Well, I did Boeing on that news of them getting the $30 billion contract from United Airlines for 200 737 MAX planes. It's a huge order. That's an impressive order. That's the type that really gets Boeing feet on the ground and sprinting uphill. And guess what? Later in the day, before the open, they came out and said that these planes are going to be sold at a deep discount. It ruined the pick. The stock opened up at 243.74, hit a high at 244.47, and then settled at 235.76. It looks good this morning. That sell-off was a little overdone. Anything under 238 is a good price for Boeing, I feel. But Boeing did not really work out well yesterday.
Well, that's going to do it for us here at Trade Talk with Traders. You know what to do. Let's get out there. Let's make some green.